Hey guys, sorry about that sun. Let me see if I can get my head behind it. It's big enough. Anyway, it's your girl Jay and I'm back with another video. So it looks like I have the same shirt from the last video and the scenery is the same. Oh no, from the last video. You're right, it is. Same walk, 2 videos, 1 day. There's a really bad accident on this corner and I'm just trying to look to make sure there's nothing terrible. I don't want anything like bad on the video out of respect for people's families. But so I was walking on Sorensen earlier, you guys, and oh, cut that part out. It's a reminder to myself. I don't want to say street names. But I was walking around earlier and this woman, she was across the street and she started screaming at me. And at first, I didn't even really know what it was that she was saying. But after I looked, she was like, "Good job. You're out there, you're doing a good job. Keep it up." You guys, that made me almost want to cry. Like, it made me so happy to hear that from a complete stranger who doesn't know my struggles and doesn't know my journey. Now, I don't know if I've already told you guys or not, but I have not shared this video with anyone in my family, not any of my friends, besides my husband. My husband is the only person that I know outside of YouTube that is subscribed to my channel or even really knows about it. I told my sister about it, but I never told her what the name of my video was or what the name of my channel was. And she's been telling me to send her links so that she can be a subscriber, but I don't know about that. I mean, eventually, obviously I will. But right now I'm just not comfortable with it. I mean, I don't know. I wanted to give you guys a little background. And I'm not talking about my sister, but what happened earlier today with the woman cheering me on, it kind of brought me to tears for more than one.
2.0 miles in 49 minutes, 31 seconds. Average pace 24 minutes, 34 seconds per mile.
That's Fitbit. Tell me I've just reached 2 miles. Anywho, it almost brought me to tears for a couple of reasons. I hear a lot these days about fat shaming, right? And bullying is really a hot topic and a big issue, you know? Well, I have never, believe it or not, I have never been bullied about my weight at school or by friends or in the neighborhood or anything like that. The only time someone talked about my weight at school was when, you know, the petty, catty, teenage drama. You have a conversation with somebody they like and all of a sudden, sorry, I'm using my shirt. I didn't bring a towel. But all of a sudden, they're PO'd and think you're trying to take their guy. That's the only time my weight has ever come up. And it's always been situational and it's never been something that was ongoing. It just hasn't. But I was bullied by family. I'm not gonna say any names or any relations because, like I said, at some point I'm going to share this with everybody. So if somebody in the family ends up watching this, just know I'm not calling you out or I'm not trying to talk down on you or talk bad about you, but I am going to share my experience and tell my truth. Yeah, family family is who continuously made comments about my weight. I remember not even being really aware that I was larger than my brother, my sister, and honestly most people in my family. There's not a lot of obese people in my family. Most of my family is pretty slender. My grandmother was like, I don't know, 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", somewhere in there, and weighed maybe 105 pounds. I remember at one point in her life she had to take shakes to gain weight. So I think that some of it came from just not being used to seeing it, because like I said, there's not really many overweight people in my family. So I can recall this one experience, you guys. For a couple of years actually in our life, we lived with our grandmother, and on summer nights my mom, my sister, and I, and my mom's friend and her dog, we would go for walks. We didn't have air conditioner, so we literally waited till 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night to go on these walks, because that's when it was cool enough. Even prior to living with my grandmother, you guys, my mom never had a driver's license. She said she never wanted one. I don't know why, but you know, that was her choice. So we literally walked or took public transportation everywhere. Now where I live, this is not like New York where you can just jump on the subway or something like that. You have to usually walk for a couple of blocks to get to a bus stop, and then again for a couple of blocks after you get off to get to your destination. So back to my story. So there was one night I had just bought some new pajamas, right? It was nothing fancy, nothing name brand, because again, like I said, we ain't have it like that. But I remember they were gray, and I can't remember what the pattern was, but I know it was a blue pattern. I want to say it was like pineapples or something, little tiny blue pineapples, almost like stamped all over it. So it was tank tops and some shorts, some loose shorts that fell right above my knee. So I was happy about these pajamas, y'all. I was happy that I bought these pajamas because we didn't really have pajamas per se. The things that we would sleep in would be like old t-shirts. Maybe something that was too stained up for us to wear outside, things like that. So to have a matching set of pajamas, it was a really big deal. So anyway, I had my pajamas on. I didn't think we were going for a walk that night because my mom was still inside. My sister was kind of hanging out in the room. And then I don't even know what I did, but I went and did something, and I came back and my sister wasn't there and my mom wasn't on the couch, and I was like, oh, are they trying to leave me? Are they trying to leave me? So I got up and I started to go outside. I was gonna walk out the front door to see if they were maybe hanging out on the porch or sitting in the driveway, which is something that we did a lot. So I got up to go outside, and a family member asked, where are you going? And I was kind of confused, but I was like, you know, outside with my mom. And they were like, with that one? And I said, I kind of looked down at myself because I was like, let me make sure I have clothes on, because I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is. So this family member's face is really scrunched up, and she looks mortified that I'm going outside with that on. So I shook my head, yeah. You know, and I started walking out the door, and this family member mumbled something and then told me to get back in the house. Now at this time, you guys, I'm probably, I don't know, I'm gonna say like maybe 13 or 14 years old. So, you know that teenage attitude. I'm getting more upset by the minute, but this is family. So I'm trying not to react. You know, I'm trying to maintain my composure and be respectful. So I was like, I'm going outside with my mom. So I started to go towards the door, and I think my mom heard the commotion. So she comes back in the house, and this family member goes to her and says something about me being fast or getting fast or something like that. And I don't need to be walking around looking like that. And my mom looks at me and she's irritated. And she said, "What? With her pajamas on?" And this family member just goes, like, "I guess it's beyond me," you know, that kind of thing. So I was so angry, you guys. I was so upset and so irritated. And the main reason why I was irritated is because when my sister who prior to having children has always been really tiny. Like on her 21st birthday, security came up to us and asked for her ID. And then after she showed it, they were like, "We really thought you were like 12 years old, tiny." So she's always been really small. But my sister comes in, and my sister, she doesn't have on a tank top, but she has on a t-shirt and shorts that are about 4 inches shorter than mine. 4 inches shorter than mine. And there was no outrage. There was no shock. There was no question as to what she was doing or why she was going outside wearing that. That was just one incident of many. I remember other family members telling me that I couldn't go and play outside with them on playground equipment because it wouldn't hold my fat ass. I remember just being referred to as a fat ass pretty regularly. I remember one time a family member, albeit he was drunk. I'll give him that. He was drunk. But my sister and I were up late. We were watching movies. It was the summer. It was perfectly okay. My mom did not mind it. It was something that we did all of the time. But he comes in the house. He's drunk. And he's talking to my sister. And my sister, still to this day, she really doesn't like confrontation. So he's being loud and he's being kind of rough. And her face, I know her face. I've always been that person, whether it was my sister or my brother, to be the person to stick up and say something. And I don't care who you are. Family, friend, teacher, I don't care who you are. You don't treat these people wrong. Not my brother and my sister. Because a lot of times we were all we had. Save that for another story time. But he comes in drunk. He's loud. She looks terrified. So I'm telling him, like, leave her alone. And he doesn't really respond. And I was like, come on, are you ready to go to bed? To my sister. Just trying to get her out of the situation. And then this grown man comes to me within about 3 inches of my face. Oh, sorry. Don't want to get that in there. Within about 3 or 4 inches of my face. And he says, "I don't like you." And I'm just sitting there looking at him, just staring him down. And he was like, "You know why? Because you're a fat ass. And you need to lose some weight." At this point, my mom, who was, like I said, we lived with my grandmother for years. My mom is sleeping on the air mattress in the living room on the floor. My mom wakes up. He's loud. He's screaming. My mom wakes up, hears all of this stuff. And she jumps up and tells him to go to bed, to get out of here. And that I'm not a fat ass. And I might even cut this video because there's so much stuff that I want to put in here that I don't want to kind of say. I'm holding back a lot of it. At this point, I'm angry, and anger is like bubbling over. It's spilling out. And I didn't get in his face, but from the chair that I was sitting in, I started screaming and yelling and telling him how he's an alcoholic, how he's a drunk, and how he needs to live in his own house, that he's a grown man. He's been living with his mother for the last such and such years. So my mom, of course, got on me about that, told me to be quiet, told me to go to bed, and I'm so mad that I'm in tears. I am just bawling and bawling and bawling and bawling. I'm just so angry and so irritated and so upset. So the next day, like I said, he did end up apologizing and trying to give me a hug, but like that memory never faded. I never forgot about that. And even though he is family and I love him, I've always had just that much more distance between us because of multiple interactions like that. This video's running kind of long, but I have a lot more story times about very similar situations that I'll share with you guys at another time. I have finished my walk. I have gone 2+ miles today. I hope that you do something today that, sorry, people are looking at me, guys. But I hope you guys do something today towards accomplishing your goals. Every day is a new chance to be great. Let's take advantage of it. See you guys later.